Hey guys, Ty from the Affiliate Solution. Welcome to this very, very special edition of 5 Question Friday, coming to you live from Frankfurt, Germany. We've just finished, almost finished, the affiliate seminar, and these guys are going to ask me some live questions. You can't see, but there's at least 100 people behind the camera. It's been amazing. And they're going to ask me some random questions. So, what's up?
Hey, Ty. I have one question. So when do you know that your gym is full? Like 1 month you have like 10 people every class on the wait list. Right. Next month you have like 2 to 3 spots every class free. So when should you know, like, now we're capped and we do not offer a basics course? Or?
Yep, absolutely. So it obviously depends on current capacity as opposed to potential capacity. So current capacity, the biggest limiter is going to be your coaching team. So you know what you can take right now isn't going to be your full capacity. It's just based on what you have, you know, in terms of classes you can run. Generally, we never look at full capacity, right? In terms of every class full all the time, because that's unrealistic. You're going to get ebb and flow. We look at consistent over 3 months or even a 6-month period if you can, 80% capacity. If I'm consistently, you know, it goes up and down, but if it consistently it's hitting around 80%, that's when I might say, okay, this class is probably, it's probably hitting where it needs to. Which again, we talked about this today, but I want everyone at home to hear this. When the class is at capacity, it's not a problem, it's a win. You won that class, right? There's no need to get stressed out. What do I do? People are booking in, they can't get a spot. You won that class, move on, find another class, build that up, as long as you've got the coaches for it.
What would you say is the 3 must-haves to make a successful CrossFit?
Okay, number 1, it's simple: coaches, passionate, caring, and coaches that are coordinated on the culture, right? We talked about this over the last few days. I can't just have this coach is good and this coach is good and this coach is good, but they're all their own separate kind of entity. I need a team, right? I will take a solid, cohesive team of good coaches over 5 separate great coaches every day of the week, right? I need to make sure that we're all swimming in the same direction. We're all fighting for the same goal, the same dream. So that's the first thing, is coaches. The second thing is systems. No matter what I do in the box, if it's not done well every single time, then it doesn't matter, right? Doing a great job every 3rd class or making sure the gym's clean every now and then is almost as bad as just not doing it at all, right? People will take a consistently mediocre product over an occasionally great product. So we need those systems in place. And then last thing is simplicity. It's one of the big things we've talked about over the last 2 days is, as owners, our job is to set the business up for success and then get the fuck out of the way. Stop trying. We get bored, or we get nervous, or we get insecurities, or we get all these different emotions that cause us to kind of poke our finger into the business and mess with it, when if we just let it go, the business wants to be streamlined, right? It wants to just operate at the minimum required dosage. It's us that keep on, you know, one little thing happens one time and we get all nervous and we decide to fuck with everything. If we just go, there's a great quote by Tim Ferriss, what would this look like if it were easy? Right? What's the minimum required dose? This is what I want to achieve. What's the smallest thing that will achieve that? And that's one of the big things that holds boxers back. The problem is, as coaches and definitely as owners, we're a very A-type personality. We want to do stuff. We want to go get it. Like, as CrossFitters in general, we like hard work. We like the grind. And so often we take that out of CrossFit and put it into the business. And so we keep on trying to fiddle. We keep on trying to grind. We really suck at relaxing. We really suck at just letting go and going, you know what? I think that's good for now. You know, so yeah, I would say that not just great coaches, but a great coaching team, a cohesive, culturally compliant coaching team. Systems to make sure that team is doing exactly what the members need every single day with consistency. And then an owner who lets the box be as simple as it wants to be.
What is the best tip you could give to a gym who's wanting to open up a second location?
Don't. Maybe. Or do. The question why, right, is what I'm trying to get at. Almost every box I've ever seen that opens a second location has a really shitty reason for it, or at least an incomplete reason for it, right? The only reason to open a second gym is the same reason we do anything, our page 7, our lifestyle, right? We do anything and everything because that's what we've got to do to get us to where we want to be, right? Whether that's holiday time with our families, paying our coaches what they're worth, all of this stuff. Opening a second gym is one way to do that. It's sure as hell not the easiest way to do it. It's a lot of work. You know, your gym finally gets successful, so you open a second gym so that you put yourself 6 months back, especially if your goal is to be able to spend more time with family and have freedom of time and all that stuff. You know, you've just at least put yourself 6 months back in those goals by opening a second gym. One of the things that drives me crazy is you should open a second gym because you have to. Because your current gym opens at 5 a.m., closes at 10 p.m., and every single class is packed. When I see boxers go, man, we've got to either get a bigger location or open a second space because you know, our 5:30 and 6:30 p.m. classes are packed. That's what you've got emptiness throughout the middle of the day. You've got hardly anyone coming in the morning. Your midday classes are non-existent. Once the box reaches its potential, once it reaches that, okay, we can't squeeze a single member anywhere else in this box. If at that point you still haven't gotten the life that you want, then maybe open a second box, but still probably not. You know what I mean? I'm not against opening a second box. I'm just against doing it for the wrong reasons. I'm against saying, oh, this is the only way we can make money. I'm also against doing it because the opportunity is too good to be true. You know, like, oh, there's this other place, and if we don't take it now, someone else will take it. Like that's distraction. You know, that's, I'm gonna be successful, ooh, a bird, right? And if we can't have that discipline and that focus to go, you know what, this place isn't what it could be, what it should be, I'm gonna block out everything else and just focus on that, then yeah, it's gonna be a hard time. So most boxers, most owners, when they say I wanna open a second box, my advice is don't. And the only reason you would is if that's the only way you're gonna get to your page 7, you're gonna get to the lifestyle that you want.
When you have your on-ramp class,
yes,
you have your 3 classes, people come into your first, their first real CrossFit class.
Yes.
How do you babysit them? Because I find that so many of them, even now, people who have been doing CrossFit for 6-7 months, they still come to me and say, what color band should I use?
Right, absolutely.
How do I babysit these people whilst I've still got my other clients who are coming to me and asking, what weight should I use?
So, firstly, any problem that we have with a new member, whether it's a cultural problem or a practical problem like this, we always reverse engineer it into the on-ramp. So the on-ramp, one thing we didn't really talk about at the seminar a whole bunch is, in addition to the movements and all that stuff, there's a lot of education. There's a lot of trying to make sure that people understand all the little things. So one great thing that Vaiki talks about is whatever it is that your members do that piss you off, reverse engineer how to fix those and put that either into your on-ramp or put it into like a short, education program. So maybe an ongoing set of emails after they join or something. If you don't like what people are doing, stop them from doing it, right? But when it comes to, if you know that you've got people that are new in the class, you know they're gonna ask things. So don't wait for them to ask. Like as a coach, you should be way ahead of those problems and triaging everything. If you know that someone's got a bung knee, don't wait for them to say, oh, what should I do instead of the lunges or something, right? You should be, okay guys, here's what we're going to do. Go and grab a band. You guys probably grab a green band and a blue band, like get ahead of that. Because again, the class will run as smoothly as we make it, not as smoothly as our members let us, right? We're in control. When we see people get upset about, oh, the members aren't coming back from the toilet or they're getting drinks or whatever, it's all on us to manage that stuff. And it's the same thing. If we don't like, if we want to avoid kind of the massive amounts of questions, just, what those questions are going to be. You get the same questions every single time. So pre-frame those questions, get ahead of it. And not only does this mean that you're going to get less interruptions and less questions, but it makes you look like a better coach. It makes you a better coach, You're getting ahead of the program. You're giving people, quite often you're giving them the solutions to problems they didn't yet know they had. So number one, reverse engineer the problems and get rid of them through education in the on-ramp. And number two, triage and preamp whatever the questions are going to be.
My question is based about the market. So in Germany, there's many towns or cities that don't yet have a CrossFit box, or the CrossFit box that is there is the only one for a relatively large population, maybe 300 or 400 people in one box.
Gotcha.
Comparing that to Australia or US, where there's F45, there's 50 boxes in a 1 mile location. Yeah. So how would you run your box differently depending on the market that you're in? If you're in an oversaturated market or an undersaturated market, would that also affect the decisions that you would make?
Right, so a little bit, yes. So in general, I'm going to try and run the business as professionally as possible. Like, I'm gonna run a box in the countryside of Germany in terms of the professional and operations side, just as professionally as I would in downtown LA. Right, so we're still gonna have systems, we're still gonna have Waterfire Zen Planner, we're still gonna have professional coaches that are paid. All that stuff doesn't change. What does change is two things. Number one, you have an onus of responsibility now. You have an opportunity, but also a responsibility. Those people in that town possibly know nothing about CrossFit, right? So if I walk through that town and ask them, hey, what's CrossFit? Whatever they tell me is gonna be on you. You know, it's kind of your responsibility to get that right. So you have to educate. You can't just let them occasionally find out. You know, they see the word CrossFit on a building, they go home, they Google it, they see the CrossFit Games, shit, and now it's an uphill battle. So you need to be actively getting out into the community, whether it's through videos and content on Facebook, or whether it's physically getting out into the community, doing WODs in the park, going out and finding anywhere where someone congregates, so whether it's a church or a business or a school, getting out there and aggressively showing that community, hey, this is this new thing called CrossFit, and we're the people in town to give it to you. So that's the first thing, is you own the reputation of CrossFit in that town, and that's both a benefit and a responsibility. Yeah, you got to really use it, because if you don't use it, the next guy in town, if you wait a year and now there's 10 boxes in town and the other boxes aren't doing a good job, well, you can't fix that reputation now, because there's 9 of them and 1 of you. So you're a lot better off if you do it when you own the market. The second thing I'll say is the big mistake that a lot of box owners make is they say, oh, we're the only box in town. That's their kind of, that's what they're relying on, right? That's how they get people. The problem is if that's your unique selling point, you're the only box in town, then that means your unique selling point can be fucked up by someone else like that. Like, this is what we rely on to get members. Oh, now someone else opened? There goes our unique selling point. So to the box owners out there who are the only one or one of few in town, so what? Don't rely on it. Don't make that the thing that's going to make you successful, because tomorrow a new box opens, now you're not the only one in town. Not only are you not the only one in town, you're the old one in town, and that one's new and exciting and sexy. You know, so yeah, a lot of people need to be very careful about, and this goes for anything that you base as one of your values in terms of what people see you as valuable for. It needs to be something that you control, that you can increase, whereas being the only one in town can be ruined by anyone else anytime. So yeah, that'd be my advice to small town boxers. There you go, guys. That's 5 Question Friday, live from Frankfurt, Germany, here at CrossFit Bulls and Bears. It's been an awesome seminar with these amazing people. We're gonna go back there and wrap it up. As always, if you've got any questions at all, drop a comment below. If you want the question to be asked anonymously, shoot me a message. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. You deserve it. I love you all. Mwah. I'll see you next week. Goodbye.